doesn't. But it is logical to have Sotah after Yavamas and Ksubas. No, so after Ksuva is she comes to Sotah after you write her a Ksuva, and if she becomes a Sotah, she doesn't get a Ksuva. All right. This is interesting Masechta, but it starts off with the description of what you do in order to make a woman a Sotah, and in order to do that, you need to have two stages. You have to have kinui and satira or sasira. Kinui and stira, we say. Okay, there's kinui, which is the warning, right? It literally means jealousy, jealous warning, and stira, which is the seclusion. Okay, so the question is, what kind of testimony you need for the warning and for the seclusion, if any? Okay, that's going to be a big machlokas. Hamakari lishto, somebody who warns his wife. He has to warn in front of two witnesses. Now the stira, which is what causes her to have to drink the water, only needs to have one witness, or Piatzmo, or he himself. Rabbi Shomer notes both stages, both stages require two witnesses. Both the kinui, the warning, and the stira, the seclusion. Again, mashke means you give it to drink because she was secluded. Okay, so we have machlokas in Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Lezer holds only the kinui requires two witnesses. The seclusion can just be one witness or even the husband himself. And Rabbi Yeshua holds both the kinui and stira require two witnesses. Each one has to have two witnesses. So far, so good. The machlokas, straightforward. The Gemara will explain it. Okay, see, it says first about the nature of kinui itself. Vavar lav ruach kina. It says a spirit of jealousy will sweep over him. Bikini esishto, and he will warn his wife, the gomer, etc. Shlo yikane. This teaches us he should not warn her lo mito slok, not out of laughter, v'lo mito sicha, nor out of chatter, lo mito chalos rosh, nor out of frivolity, v'lo mitoch mosun, nor even out of a level-headed conversation. Mosun literally means something which is restrained or balanced. There's another interpretation here, another girsa. Instead of v'lo mitoch mosun, v'lo mitoch modon, not out of strife. In other words, out of strife is also bad. All those cannot be catalysts for the warning. Rather, how should do it? El mitoch ema. It should be with suitable fear and trepidation that he warns her. Sotah. I looked it up. Sotah's next. Yep. Today is supposed to be Sotah Daf Chaf Hey. So we're about 23 blocks behind. No, I don't think anybody's keeping tabs. So I think they will have to push off to our reservations for Madison Square Garden. I don't think we'll be finishing on time. Yeah, that will happen. So the Korbanei changed the girsa here, but it seems that the girsa which is here is the same girsa that the Rambam has, and it means that you have to give her the warning not out of any other emotion except for emotion, which is, or I should say, not of any state of mind except for state of mind which has suitable dignity and trepidation. What if you warned her in any of the other frames of mind as opposed to the proper one? What's the status? My samris, that which we said that you have to with the proper dignity and decorum the mitzvah, is it just the proper thing to do? Or the ikuv, is it essential? It says mitzvah. If you're going to say it's proper, then even if it's not in the proper frame of mind, it's still a valid warning. It's say it's essential, it's an impediment. If you weren't in the proper frame of mind, Ain't kinui, the warning is not a proper warning. So it says more, Asya Kiadot. It must be like this. Kol makom shenamar chuka Torah. Everywhere where the Torah says to both the word chuka and the word Torah ma'akiv. But you need both. Like it says by Paraduma, Zos chukas ha-Torah. Right? Here it just says the word Torah. Or just the word chuka, I forget which one. It says just Torah. Torah saknos. What? Hakanos. So it's Rashi to come to Abraham's down. Zos Torah saknos. So therefore it's not ma'akiv here. It's not ma'akiv, because the only ma'akiv you have both Lashonis. By the way, the other interpretation is that, but that's the interpretation of the Tzion Yerushalmi, the Mar Polim and Tzion Yerushalmi here, because the Rambam paskin it's not ma'akiv, and he must paskin based on our Gemara. He says it's proper to have the right frame line, but it's not necessary because by Sotah it doesn't say chukas ha-Torah, it just say ches Torah. Okay. Says the Gemara hakinui. Kinui itself. Rabbi Yeshua man b'shem Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Yeshua said, name Rabbi Eliezer, choiva. It's mandatory to warn your wife against these improper behaviors with men. Rabbi Yeshua said it's optional. I'm Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yossi. Ben Rabbi Yossi, Kul Rabbi Asa. Rabbi Eliezer said Rabbi Yossi for Rabbi Asa. Asya, the Rabbi Eliezer's opinion is going, and it should, because he was from that school of thought. Beis Shammai. He's going like Beis Shammai. Rabbi Shua goes like Beis Silo. How so? The Rabbi Eliezer goes like Beis Shammai. The Beis Shammai says, a person should not divorce his wife, only came matzah ba erva, unless he found something licentious about her. Matzah dvarim kurim, bakar dvarim kurim. What if she does disgusting things, improper things, but they're not strictly erva? Like she runs around the marketplace, she doesn't dress so nicely, but they're not exactly erva. Okay? So what if he finds improper things but not erva? So he can't divorce her. Divorce, he can't divorce her. Shalom matzah erva, because she's not truly right. She didn't do any erva activities. The kaima he can't keep her either. Right? Because he found repugnant things about her. That's what he says. In that case, it's mandatory that in order to take the matters to a head, you should actually give her the waters to drink. Why? Because that'll clarify if she's okay or not.
Even without kinui?
No. So in that case, he's saying kinui is a chova. Mandatory. Because that'll help you clarify the situation. Chova means kinui is a positive thing which you should do to your wife in order to clarify the situation.
But she's not doing any steering. She's not...
No, so therefore, you warn her, manavshach, either you warn her and she'll stay away from steer, in which case she'll be beyond reproach, or you warn her and she'll do steer, in which case you'll check her out. Okay, so that'll resolve your problem by bringing matters to a head, right? So it says the Gemara, and how do you say this, that if she does disgusting things, she doesn't get divorced? And we learn in Beis Shammai, I only know that a woman is compelled to be divorced because she had some erva shortcoming. Benign, how do we know if a married woman goes out with an uncovered head, with Sotah and the sides of her clothing are open, so people can see underneath. And her arms are revealed. How do you know you divorced her as well? Because it says you found an ervas davar, not just the actual deed, but even the ervas davar, a matter of erva. So you see, you can divorce for lesser reasons. Rabbi Mona said, the way I explained is, when can you divorce her for lesser reasons? Be'edim, when you have witnesses that she was doing these improper behaviors. However, you don't have witnesses, we don't have witnesses, so then in order to bring matters to head, what you do is you do kinui, in order to either prevent her from having stira, or if she does, to bring it to court. Okay? Says the Gemara, that's all Rabbi Yeshua, the Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Yeshua holds like Beis Hillel. and everybody holds that kinui is optional. How so? To Rabbi Yoshua, what? The Beis Hillel army, sorry. Beis Hillel may have feel kedusha tav shiur. Beis Hillel says you can divorce a woman even if she burnt your supper. That's enough. Okay? So, since that's the case, that's why he says you don't have to bring matters to a head, just divorce the woman. You have to bring matters to a head if she's a proof to define if she's really transgressing Averis or not, if you need that to be the antecedent to divorce. But a divorce can happen without that, so you don't need to have that as an antecedent. You don't need to have kinui and stira. Right? Says the Gemara, Ruatzel kanosi kanei, but the garesh garesh. If he wants to go to the Sotah option, he may. If he wants to go to the just plain Jane divorce option, he may do that as well. Okay, now my time it should be the Rabbi Yoshua. What's the logic of Rabbi Yoshua says they need two edim on both the kinui and the stira. It says, I'll tell you what what the reason is. Kimata ba erva's daughter. It says you found in her a matter of nakedness. Erva zu stira. It says erva is, of course, the actual seclusion. Davar, the statement, what's that referring to? Is that kinui. That's the warning. And it says about both these things, well, they're both linked to the word davar. And the word davar is linked to the davar by I forgot. Right, thank you. So, okay. Oh, it's the next line. Okay. Sorry. So again, thank you. Madam Rala Pishnai Meidim. It's two indices. Abdover Amrukana Pishnai Meidim. So it says that both these things, Erva and Davar, are linked to Pishnai Meidim Yakum Davar. That you have to have two Eidim. Okay? Otherwise it's not valid. Again, Madover Amrala Pishnai Meidim Yakum Davar. That matters to say about the two witnesses. After it's on two witnesses. Now, says the Gemara, if that's the case, if it says Apishnai made him Yakum Davar, and we learn Kimotzi Davar is also therefore a parallel issue. So what does Rabbi Eliezer do, who says you can give the woman to drink based on her own admission, or based on one witness, or even based on the husband's admission? Why is that? Why should that be? What logic is there? It says, Rabbi Eliezer our Mishnah says that even though the kinui requires two witnesses, the stira only requires one witness. But if it says kimatzi ba'ervas davar, it sounds like the whole process is learned out davar mimamon for the parallel to money, and therefore you need to always have two witnesses. She even required two witnesses on the stira itself. Why does the stira only require one witness? So says the Gemara, including Rabbi Eliezer, Umar Labo. It says by Sotah, she is committing an act of me'ila against her husband. Don't look at me funny. I don't write the material. You understand how adultery is an act of rebellion against the husband? Yeah. That's the language Pasuk uses. It's like me'ila is abusing hekdesh. So do you abuse your husband over here? Right.
The husband is like hekdesh. She's holier than thou.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So David, so his answer was that Umala Abo Mal is the actual bia. That's what it's rebellion against her husband. And it says bo. What does bo mean? One. So the act of me'ila only needs one witness. The davar, the warning needs two. But the me'ila itself, the seclusion only needs one. Right? So it says more, "B'tanoim shehitna ma piachirim." And the conditions he makes with her, there he needs two witnesses. Hapi achirim, other people involved. But the ma'alabo, the seclusion, that even one witness. Okay? Says more. Now that's all Rabbi Lezer and our Mishnah. Now we have another version of Rabbi Lezer. Tani, we learned Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yudah, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Lezer. Yesterday said the name Rabbi Lezer, the exact opposite of our Mishnah. In our Mishnah it says kinoi by 2 and stira by 1. 1 if by land and 2 if by sea. Kinoi is by 2 and stira by 1. That's what it said in Rabbi Lezer. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda holds the exact opposite. That in Rabbi Lezer, that kinoi is in front of one witness, and stira is in front of 2 witnesses. Exact opposite. Okay, that's you see inside. Let's see it again. Side again. Tara Rabbi Yosef, you don't remember Rabbi Lezer. Mekani api echad. The warning can be given even based on his own admission in court. To give it to drink, they required 2 witnesses that she was secluded. Why? Because it says here, Matzah bar ervas davar. He found her arayas. And Metzia means to find with witnesses. So too, here, Metzia means to find with witnesses. The Matzah bar ervas davar. So the Matzah bar ervas davar means they need 2 witnesses on the actual, on the stira, right? Ma'amakayim Rabbi Lezer davar. Now, this actually is an interesting question. What do you do with the word davar?
Which have been used to
skips. Yeah. So what is it with the word davar? I mean, davar, according to the first shot, we said kimatz ervas davar. So that teaches us they need 2 witnesses for the kinui. But now Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda was saying the exact opposite. That for the kinui, you only need 1 witness. So what does he do with davar? Davar sounds you need 2 witnesses. So it says more no. The way he types that very innovatively, you got to give him an E for extra effort here. Davar shu margil lovely de erva. The thing which brings you to the point of erva, that the kinui is the thing which brings you to the point of the erva, and that's what requires. I mean, that's what it doesn't require 2 witnesses. Sorry. Kimatza ba erva's davar. What needs 2 witnesses? The erva. Kimatza ba erva. Hi, what about this word davar? It means that the dvarim lead to the erva, but the metzia is on the erva. So the erva requires 2 witnesses, but the davar just leads up to the erva. That doesn't require 2 witnesses. So in our Mishnah, Rabbi Lezer held, you need 2 witnesses on the kinui. Only 1 witness on the stira. Because on the kinui it says, Matzah bar ervas davar. And Matzah is going on the davar. As opposed to seclusion, Umar labo. Singular, even 1. Now we're saying the opposite. We're saying, Ki Matzah bar ervas. 2 witnesses on the seclusion. Davar just means the davar brings to the seclusion. The davar itself doesn't require edus altogether. Even himself or another witness could say that he did kinui. I don't think we saw a reason for that, but that's what he holds. The Gemara is going to get to number base. Now, says the Gemara, what about an 8 echad? Is that enough? Our truth is, we said it is. And we said Mishnah but here the Mishnah is asking alum this, right? Is there if she himself says my wife was mizana, so chavi anafshi chatichot isura, he made for himself this woman as if she's forbidden. There I can understand that makes the drink. But what about when Eid Echad came? It's not full testimony. It's not in placing upon himself the prohibition. So what's Eid Echad? Says more, nevertheless. The truth is, it's like any other din Torah. My peep shit's kavachomer. My peep she'eno zokiko l'shvua. If I can feel shvua's moment, I can see I owe money. Do I have to take a shvua? No. Even if I'm a moedim and mikzas, I'm a partial confessor. I confess partially, but there was no preceding claim against me. I don't have to take a shvua, right? I skipped the words. Nevertheless, the husband, who's the Baal Din, does cause by his kinui that she should have to drink. Which is more severe. If one witness comes along, you're required to respond to him and make a shvua about money you owe. So it's not a kavachomer that the Eid Echad would be believed to say that the woman either kinui or stira, depending what shita Rabbi Lezer were in, right? Karo mao shioke. What do we say? Shiashke. What about if a relative testifies that she was mizaneh or that she secluded? Does that work? Says the Gemara, mikara mi bailo. Is she any more related than the husband? Than the
what greater power is there than the husband?
Right, and he could testify about her that she was secluded. So certainly another relative could testify that she was secluded as well. Yeah, I said she. He can testify that she was secluded. Okay, so it says the Gemara. No, there is a difference. A witness is not suitable to testify now here in this case. But kosher ulachazman. He's kosher after time elapses, right?
Just one line above.
Oh, MEPA, right, you're right. The third line down. MEPA Maushashka. If one witness says to another witness, I heard from Yaakov that she was secluded. Or according to the version of Rabbi Eliezer, I heard from Yaakov that she got a warning. Is that sufficient to make her drink? So it says the Gemara, Mabino Lebein HaKoro. What's the difference between this guy and a relative? Just like a relative who's postulated can be the one aid according to Rabbi Eliezer wherever is needed, so too, and more so, somebody who is an aid me aid, because they're both absolute. Says more, no, they're not comparable. You know why? A relative is not kosher for a witness testimony now, but kosher lachazman to be kosher after time passes. So therefore, perhaps he has more credibility to right. So it's a shocking concept, but that's what I'm saying. For them, a AWPA ain't no kosher lo akshav lo achazman, who's never going to be good, not now, not ever, because he didn't see the actual deed. Okay, so the Gemara doesn't actually come to a conclusion. What's the status of a carbon aid PA, or a guy leaves the tangling? Okay, getting back to the other topic, however, my time it should be Rabbi Lezer. What's the logic of Rabbi Lezer? Now, the truth is, we already saw the logic of Rabbi Lezer on Amalf, but here we're coming back to it in a more formal way. Okay? Is that clear? Where so Rabbi Lezer's shita was based on Malabo and how to learn the Erbas Davar. It's going much of two witnesses going on the Erba, much going on Davar, but nonetheless we're coming back to it again. My time Davar is thing, but thing, literally thing. Soundboard, a thing about riots. So says my time the Rabbi Lezer. Again, what's the logic of Rabbi Lezer? Kimatza bar Erbas Davar says you found her Erbas Davar. Davar is not kinui. Davar, that's kinui. The forewarning. Kimatza, and it says you found. Well, if that's the case, emitzia ela ba'edim. Mitzia, an inquiry or an inquest, which turns out something, should only be with witnesses, right? How's it going to find? So therefore, Yeah, so therefore on the kinui you need to have two witnesses. That's what it says here, right? Dover zeh kinui, ki motza emitzia lebeidim, u'mekane al pi yerecha al pi atzmo. Yeah, I messed that up a little bit. Let's go from my time with Rabbi Lezer again. The 6th line down. You see that? Last one line is Ma. I swear I do better when I stand. Also, you enjoy hearing my voice carry more.
It's choppy.
What? This more is very choppy. I had a lot of difficulty with it. Again, let's go back there. My time at Rabbi Lezer. So what's the logic of Rabbi Lezer? Kimotza bar ervaz davar. Because you found in her a matter of arayas. Davar zeh kinui. So davar is referring to the warning. So this says the warning has to be in witnesses. Kimotza emetziel beidim. Kimotza would mean that emetziel beidim, right? Metziel means that you found with witnesses. So it has to be the kiddos with beidim. Wait a minute. But what did it say in our Mishnah? Didn't Rabbi Lezer our Mishnah say? Sorry, not Rabbi Lezer in our Mishnah. But didn't we? No, strike 2. Sorry, let me try that again. My time at Rabbi Lezer. What's the logic of Rabbi Lezer? See, I'm looking at my notes, but I have to actually look at them. I don't remember them without looking at them. So it says, when my time at Rabbi Lezer, what's the logic of Rabbi Lezer? I know it says Rabbi Shua, but I already changed that. Kimotza bar ervaz davar. Now, davar is a kinui. Davar should be a kinui. And kimotza, it says, kimotza, emetziel beidim. And metzia should only be with the witnesses. So if that's the case, everything should be with witnesses, right? Says the Gemara. And so how are you going to say, Umekani al pi echad o al pi atzmo? How are you going to say that you could be mekane? I'm still not getting it straight. I have a question marks in my Gormar. Let me read it the way I punctuated this afternoon. My time with the Rabbi Lezer. What's the logic of Rabbi Lezer? Kimotza bar ervaz davar. Davar zeh kinui. Now this actually begins a question. Davar zeh kinui. Is davar referring to kinui or not? Kimotza. It says kimotza emetziel beidim. Metzia's got to be with witnesses. So can we say, is it possible to say, that you do kinui based on one witness or based on himself? Umar labo. And umar labo, is that also possible to say that's going on kinui? How do you learn according to Rabbi Eliezer Let me say it outside. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't get it across. Let me say it outside. It'll work this time. I promise you. We have 2 versions of Rabbi Lezer. One is the Mishnah's version, one is Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda's version. They're the exact opposites of each other. Rabbi Lezer and our Mishnah said, Kinui's got to be with 2. Stira can be even with 1. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda's version is the exact opposite. Kinui can be even with 1. Stira's got to be with 2. Okay? So now the Gemara is asking, how does Rabbi Lezer and our Mishnah make sense? It makes much more sense for Rabbi Lezer and the Bryce in Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda. How so? So it says, my time with Rabbi Lezer. Kimotza b'ervas davar. All we have is this pasuk, kimotza b'ervas davar. Well, davar, if that's the case, maybe I could say like this. Davar zaki. Let's say davar refers to kinui. But kimotza, aim it's the elevated. Kimotza is going on finding with witnesses. And that is going on the erva, not on the davar. So let's say like Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda. It's a question on Rabbi Eliezer and our Mishnah. How can Rabbi Eliezer and our Mishnah say that kina requires two witnesses? The motzah, which is two witnesses, it's going on the erba, not on the davar. So I can say need two witnesses, right? On the contrary, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda is correct. So what are you going to say? And it says Umar Labo. And Umar Labo means the seclusion only needs one witness. Maybe Umar Labo is going on the kinui. Maybe the kinui only requires one witness. Or himself. Because the rebellion is, after all, against the kinui. So maybe the kinui requires one witness. Because Umar Labo means one. Him. Right? And maybe it's the stira, which requires two witnesses, which is mamish like Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda in the Brisa, like Rabbi Yosef's interpretation of Rabbi Eliezer. So how does Rabbi Eliezer in the Mishnah learn? So says the Gemara, no. Ma'amakaim Rabbi Eliezer. It says here Rabbi Shua again, but it's a mistake. How does Rabbi Eliezer learn erva? Not that it's the seclusion which requires two witnesses. No. He learns erva shiba mikoach davar. It's an erva which comes from the davar. So the truth is, and that makes sense. Let me explain what that means. In grammatically, kimotza bar ervas davar. Ervas is not a noun. It's an ervas davar, right? It's a smichut. It's adjective, right? The erva of the davar. So what's the matzah going on? Not the erva of the a davar, which is, you're right, it's an adjective. How we translate it in English? A naked matter. That's erva davar is a naked matter, right? That's an adjective, right? So it's really going on the davar. So the what? So the davar is what's nimtza, what's found. So this version, Rabbi Eliezer, the Mishnah, holds that imotze is going on the davar. The davar requires two witnesses. It says imotze ervas. No, ervas is a modifier of a davar. See how he says it over here? The way he says it over here is that erva shiba mikoach davar. It's not exactly like you said. It's not an adjective. Rather, the erva is something which is a result of the davar. But the davar is the primary component of the sentence. No. So what's the ikar? What's the ikar? Erva shigba mikoach davar. What's the pasuk going on? Not on the erva. The erva is icing on the cake. The erva comes as a result of the davar. But the imotz is going on the davar itself. Okay? So basically the difference between is the Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Eliezer, and there's two versions of Rabbi Eliezer. It's called Rabbi Yeshua ki motzei ba ervas davar. The motzei with aided. The discovery, inquiry and discovery is going both on the erva and on the davar, right? Both on the seclusion, erva, and on the kinui, the warning. According to Rabbi Eliezer, it's either going on the erva or on the davar. And we know that's true because we have another pasuk of Mo'ala Bo, the rebellion against him. It sounds like only he knows about it, which means there's some component which is only Eid Echad. So one version Rabbi Eliezer has that the Eid Echad, that the Yimotz is going on the davar, that the Kina requires two, and the seclusion only requires one. That's our Mishnah. The other is the exact opposite, that the Yimotz is going on the Erva. Right? That requires two. The seclusion. And the davar, the kinui, only requires one. and Umala Bo is going on her rebellion against the kinui. So it's really much simpler than the Gemara's choppiness makes it out to be. Okay, it really is a question of how to read the pasuk of Ki Matzi Ba Ervas Davar, and also to correlate that to Umala Bo. That's all it is. Okay? Says the Gemara, a Shivu al Diva Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. They asked Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda, according to you, what does Rabbi Yossi say? According to Rabbi Lezer, how many people are necessary at the kinui? How many people have to meet the warning according to Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda? According to Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda? One. So he says he came in it over herself. So in this case, the matter has no end. Hakomi meno lakanos law. It should mean me peeve. He can always say, hey, I warned my wife about that guy. Oh, you weren't there. You don't have to be there. So he can continuously mess her up. So it's not fair, right? And any time she has yichud with somebody, she can say, and he has witnesses of that, say, yup, she had yichud and I warned her about him, and she's finished now, she's got to go drink. And we won't be able to disprove him, because Kino can even be up Atzmo, based on his own say-so, right? And what's of course worse is the bottom line. And she'll lose her ksuva, because Allah is under those circumstances, unless she drinks, she doesn't get her ksuva. So it's not fair at all. So it says, Rabbi Yossi, it says, tough! Mati Bali Saser! What's she going? Secluding herself with people. It's her own fault. She should have been there, careful not to seclude herself with foreign men. So in fact, tough on her! Let her be careful, lest she should be trepidate, lest her husband pull such tricks on her. Right? Ella, rather, Asya di Ella lo Asya di Ella al Damasnisa. These are a couple of contractions here. But if you want to ask a question on the Mishnah. The exact opposite question. Hakomi mena, there's no end. He has the capacity. Hakomi means literally everything, but it means he has the capacity. Kanos law to do kinoi according to the Mishnah. Bishnayim, even though it says mipiv, it should be with two. So loymar, and then he'll say shenishtara that she was secluded. L'posa miksuvasa. According to Mishnah, we also have a difficulty. He can always do kinui in front of two, and take like two witnesses and say to first two witnesses, you, my wife, cannot be supposed to with Reuven, with Shimon, with Levi, with Yehuda, and then name the whole village, right? And then later on, he'll just claim she was secluded, even though he's lying. And the net result will be the same tragedy, that she'll lose her ksuva, even though she shouldn't lose her ksuva, right?
At least she was legally forewarned.
No, but here, according to Ridbaz, explains it's even worse. Because here, she won't, where she's secluded, there were 80 months seclusion, we'd say, okay, she's a slut. She deserves what she got. But here, she might not be a slut at all, but he'll go around claiming she's a slut. Right? Because he's going to say she was secluded, but she wasn't really secluded, which is much worse. So first case, at least she did something improper, but here she did nothing improper. You're allowed to make her lose a ksuba. Rabbi Abmana said, Apilu kohade tanya asya. Even in our, according to our, even according to Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda, it's still a kasha. Getting back to Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda. According to Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda, we said, well, she's a slut. She deserves what she got, right? But she shouldn't have secluded herself with people. Says Mar'asi command Amar, I still have a question, Rabbi Yossi Yehuda, like the opinion Mekani Lo Me'avil B'Law. Obviously, we haven't had such an opinion yet, but there's an opinion later in Sotah. You can be Mekani to your wife and say, don't seclude yourself with your father or with your son. Even your own father and son. Now, the rights, is she allowed to seclude herself with her father and son? Yes, she is. But when he's mekani her and says you can't seclude yourself with your father and son, so then if she does, she becomes also, and she loses her ksuba. So there too, for Rabbi Yossi, that's not fair. There she's not slutty. Hakomi mena lekana somi avio ibna. He has the capacity to be mekani her from her father and from her son. And lohavi edim shenistura, and bring witnesses to the witnesses that she was went into seclusion, who posted with her brother or her father. The Marai B'Yochim Shir Shim B'Yachai, B'Yochim Shir Shim B'Yachai. See, it says Ki Sischa Achicha Ben Imecha V'Goymer. Your brother, the son of your mother, will seduce you to worship Avodah Zarah. Or Bitcha, your daughter, will seduce you b'seiser in secret. Now, or Imcha b'seiser, or your mother will seduce you in secret. So what are you doing in secret with your daughter or with your mother? And this we learned, V'siachid Adam Imimo. A person can seclude himself with his mother, V'darimo, and live with her in the same house. In Bito, a person can seclude himself with his daughter, V'darimo, and live with her in the same house. In Achoso, a person can even seclude himself with his sister, but ain't no darimo, now let's live with your sister in the same house, the two of you by yourselves, for more than 30 days. Because it doesn't look nice. Not because it's really Oscar, but it doesn't look nice. So, in any event, we see here, even for Rabbi Yosef Yehuda, he can mess her up and have her, even though she wasn't being a slut, he can bring witnesses that she was secluded with her brother and with her brother, with her father, with her son, and say, and I was mekani her, and mess her up. So the bottom line is the same question applies no matter who you hold like. Unless you hold like Rabbi Yeshua holds two witnesses are necessary, both on the kinui and on the stira, he has the capacity to mess her up really bad, even if she's potentially innocent, according to Rabbi Lezer. Either way, whether you need only one witness on the kinui or one witness on the stira. Okay? Says the Mar period. New issue. If the witnesses lied about him was warning his wife, they get flogged. Do they have to pay anything? No, because they didn't cause a lose of ksuba. What about 8 stira shenim tuzomi? What about 8 the 80 man to exclude your father being zayim? Ata martloka, do they get flogged or do they pay? Because they're the ones who caused her to lose her ksuba. Now it's actually not them who caused her to lose her ksuba. That's why the Gemara is not sure about this. Because her losing ksuba is not because they ate him directly, but because the aim testified and then she refuses to drink. Because the only way for her to restore to ksuba is for her to drink. Yeah, no. Here a question: do they get malchus or tashlumin? Not both. Not both. We're not talking about both. So it says the Gemara, Mao sheisham tap of beis amrav. Should they have to pay? Says Marlo, Mikochim I've said is ksuvasa. Do we say that because of them she loses ksuva? Or Yeva, perhaps you say Kaidim Rabbi Ba, like Rabbi Ba and Rabbi Ida said Shmuel. It's that we just had this the end of the second parak in Suvas in the Yerushalmi. You can't learn one thing for another thing. Eidim Zomi. Now the case there is a case where Eidim testified about saying they saw when they were young, when they got older. And there it says you can't assume just because adult dating becomes Zomi that people who saw things when they were younger and then testify when they became older that they become Eidim Zomim as well. That's the case there. But here it's a different case. It's just the same principle. Eidim Zomim really don't pay because they damaged somebody, right? They were trying to cause damage, right? So I might say, well, they tried to cause damage. They're chayav. So to Eidim Zomim who tried to get a woman to lose her ksuva, even though it's a combination of their testimony plus a refusal to drink, that's enough to make them Eidim Zomi. They should have to pay. Says no, but Eidim Zomi can't learn one thing from another thing, because one is a direct cause where they try to cause the person to lose some money in a court case directly, and this is a case where it's indirect, right? Because they would cause her to lose her ksuba if she wouldn't drink the water. So we don't know what the status is in that case. Okay. Now says the Gemara. And here too, we don't know what the status is. Now, it says more very interesting discussion. Nistra Beit Echo b'Shachris. She had yichud in the morning, yichud in the evening, yichud at supper time. She had yichud in the morning, Beit Echo, but in front of one witness. Beit Echo ben Abai, and another time in the afternoon. What's the status? These two Eidim joined together. According to Rabbi Yeshua, according to the version of Rabbi Lezer, you need two Eidim on the seclusion. Do they join together, the two of them? Let's learn like the following case. If you wrote a get to your wife, but then in front of two people, you became secluded with her. So that cancels the get. Because we're afraid they had relations with her. Right? And that's called what? Does anybody remember that's called in halacha? A get where you had relations with your wife afterwards? Get yashon, an old get. It can't be used. It's got to be, you didn't have relations afterwards, right? So the Siyagim of Nishlan, she needs another get. Be'echad, if she only had yichud in front of one witness, and it's a get, she doesn't require a second get. Because the first get, because we don't know the there is after seclusion unless the two witnesses. Be'echad, b'shachris, be'echad, be'er arbayim. What if one witness saw her seclude herself with her husband in the morning, and another in the afternoon? Say a ma'aser, such a ma'aser occurred. The shor of Elizabeth Tadoy is chachamim. Elizabeth Tadoy asked chachamim. Rama, they said ein ze yichud. So to we are the same thing. It's not yichud. Because yichud has to be where yichud has a lot of ramifications. It's like kiddushin. It's got to be in front of two witnesses. So to the yichud's got to be in front of two witnesses. They both have to say the same yichud. However, what about the kinui? Kinui lo beid echad b'shachos beid echad ben arbayim. He warned them for one witness in the morning and one in the afternoon. According to the opinion, I need two witnesses for a kinui. What's the status there? Maybe here, maybe because he mentioned the same name of a man to the same woman, his wife. So they combine together. Because here it's not the Maisa of Yichud they have to see. They have to be aware that a warning took place. And maybe the two warnings are mitzdaref, even though the two Maisim of Yichud are not mitzdaref. Because the net result is that she's warned. Right? So says the Gemara, do we say kinui of kinui? His word's missing here. Do we say the kinui is about kinui, or ain't kinui, or it's not? Says more yebo kato. Let's say like this: we don't accept witnesses unless they both saw it together. Rabbi Shimon Korcha Mer afilu bo zeh even one after the other. Rabbi Yirmiyah and Rabbi Shmuel Bar Yitzum Shem Rav said, "Moed chachamim Rabbi Shimon Korcha." Chachamim can see the Rabbi Shimon Korcha that one after another is good enough. Beida b'chora. If a guy two witnesses come and say, "This father said to us that his kid is a b'chor," so there too, it's not a ma'aser, but a testimony that the individual made the proper statement. And there, perhaps, just like it works over there, it should work over here, right? Because Eidei Bechor, they're testifying not on ma'aser, but on what they heard. And therefore, two separate hearings go together. And so too, Ubeidei Chazaka. Two witnesses on a Chazaka that the guy ate 3 years. Now this, in fact, we don't know what works so well. But if a guy he brings down here, I don't know it's going to work, but they conceded that if two witnesses said, I saw him eat the first, second, and third year, and the other said, I saw him eat the fourth, fifth, and sixth year, that the two testimonies joined together. We, in fact, don't pass it that way. It's a little bit strange, but that's the way the Gemara brings it down at this stage. Rav B'Shem Yirmiyah said, Up 80 Simonim came. There's true also about 80 on hairs. Ma dog. What's he talking about? Pshita. This is obvious. Shazel mer reisa shtei soros begabo. If what one witness says, I saw two hairs on her back. Now that's a euphemism. On her back here means in the pubic area, right? Shazel mer reisa shtei soros begabo. And the also one says, I saw two hairs. Even though they didn't see it simultaneously. Again, it's not a ma'aser. They're mitzdaref together. Because they both saw two hairs. However, this one guy says, I saw two hairs on her in her pubic area. I'm sorry, one hair. Once I saw one hair on her pubic area. And the other guy says, I saw one hair on her stomach, which could be the same area, the same general area. Lavku, it's meaningless. Those two hairs don't go together. Because each one didn't see two hairs. So how are you going to trade together? How do you know they're not talking about the same hair? And Koshken Gabo V'Gabo. That's really, they both say the Gav. Because maybe they're talking about the exact same hair. We know that she had 2 hairs. Each guy says, I saw 1 hair. Maybe it's the same hair. What about, turn the page, Shtayim Roim, 2 people say, Rinu Sa'achas B'Gabo. We saw 1 hair on her front. Shtayim Roim, Rinu Sa'achas B'Kreisa. 2 people say also, they saw 1 hair on her front. Now here, it's not 1 plus 1. It's 2 plus 2, right? 2 witnesses said they saw 1 hair, and 2 witnesses said another hair. So Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Shimi, Chadim are possible. One says it's possible. Chadim are kosher, one says it's kosher. Now for some reason here, I'm not sure exactly why. We assume it's not the same hair. I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's, I don't know exactly why. I know now we assume maybe they're seeing the same hair. But here assuming it's not the same hair. But it's 2 people say 1 hair and 2 people say 1 hair, and we know it's not the same hair. Okay, so here it's a machlokes. Manamar Posi says it's no good. Kemeira Chatzi Sima. Because because the Bible calls it Dover V'lo Chatzi Dover. Each guy's testifying half a thing. Because each guy's testifying 1 hair, and 1 hair is really nothing. So is there real testimony here? No, testimony is on something. And each person is testifying half a thing. Umanim are kosher. The one who says kosher says, amazing thing. It says, Ani Omer Shema Noshu. I say maybe there was another hair there, and it fell off. And I guess, although I don't remember this from before, that a hair which fell off is still considered to be a hair. So therefore, it's not a Chatzi Dover. Why? Because really there were 2 hairs there. You only saw the one which was remaining, but there are really 2 hairs. So it's not Chatzi Dover. The Bavli, in fact, does not bring down such a shita. No. Moshe said, Bavli doesn't bring down such a shita because it's difficult. The Bavli just holds this puzzle because the Dover below Chatzi Dover. This is that you can't have half a matter considered to be a matter. Now, Echor Omer Shtei Saras Begabo. Echor Omer Shtei Saras Bekreso. If one guy says he saw 2 hairs, and another guy says he saw 2 hairs, Rabbi Chagai Omer, let's leave this for tomorrow because it's going to take us a little bit of time to do it. I'll be good to Chazer for tomorrow.